Hello, everyone. I'm Dave McDonald, Executive Director of Mount Hood Kiwanis Camp, and he is...
I'm Alan Cushing, Operations Director of Mount Hood Kiwanis Camp.
We're here with some exciting news, and that is camp programming will happen this summer at Mount Hood Kiwanis. Woo! Things are going to look a little different because of COVID-19. We have a bunch of new ways of having to do things. We have submitted a plan to the state of Oregon, who's approved our reopening plan, and so all of the myriad details that are affected by how this plan is going to roll out are going to be covered in this session with us here today.
When we last spoke to you all at the virtual town hall, we discussed what group sizes potentially could look like. In a normal given year, we usually have between 20 and 22 people in any group with 8 to 10 campers, 8 to 10 counselors, and then the staff that are attached to those groups as well. And we were hoping to potentially have groups of up to 10 people. DHS has brought some new regulations to us, and so what it's going to be this year is we're going to have groups of 6 total people, so around 3 campers and around 3 staff per group, when we are in extreme, high, and moderate risk levels in the state of Oregon. We're also going to have the ability to, when we move into low risk, to have groups of up to 8 people. And so it's something to be aware of. As you could probably tell, that does limit the amount of people that we're going to be able to have at a maximum capacity for camp this year. And so it's something to just keep in mind as we're moving through our enrollment.
So what about these risk levels? Well, you've been hearing about them on the news when the governor makes a change and says, okay, this county is now in high risk and moderate risk, low risk, etc. So basically, it's pretty simple. The state says that, if we're in low risk, we can have 8 people in a group. If we're in moderate, high, or extreme risk, we can have 6 people in a group. And that's pretty much it. Now, we're going to make sure that at least 80% of our staff is fully vaccinated, and we think it's going to be a number that's considerably higher than that. And so we're making the kinds of preparations that need to be made in order to have a safe and healthy environment for everybody at camp this summer.
Yeah, but that brings up the question is, are we going to require that 80% of campers be vaccinated as well in order to operate in that high and extreme risk? And the answer is no. So we, as a service provider through Oregon DHS, we cannot require that any participant be vaccinated when they come up to do one of our programs. And so nor will we even prioritize those, or can we prioritize those individuals who have been vaccinated. So it is something to be aware as you're preparing to come to summer camp. As we're moving through this process, it is important to note that we do highly recommend that those individuals who can and are able to receive the vaccine do so, because that's going to create the safest possible environment for everyone who is attending camp, staff, volunteers, and campers.
Now, what about the state of Washington? We've been talking about Oregon up to now. We've also submitted our plan to the state of Washington. Don't have final approval on all the details just yet. Very close. A couple of details, and we're pretty much there. But we just want to let you know that sometime in the next few days, we'll have guidance from the state of Washington that will either confirm or ask us to modify something or whatever. And on the off chance that we don't get the kind of approvals we're looking for, it could be that your camper will be allowed to attend camp, but may not be able to use service hours if Washington doesn't like our plan. But what we anticipate is that Washington's going to go along with what we've gotten from Oregon, and what we're telling you right now is going to be approved.
Absolutely. Yeah. The nice thing here is that we have received approval from Oregon that campers from Washington and other states may attend camp. And so as long as we have that, it's really then up to you as to whether or not you want your camper to come down and have a great time with us at summer.
So why don't we move along to enrollment? It's going to be different this year than it's ever been in the past. And so there's some details we want to get out so you understand what's going to happen. First of all, camp is happening. Okay, we can say that. So it's going to look a little different as we've already discussed. Not quite as many people are going to be able to come to camp as in the past, but it's a transition year, and that's just the way it's going to be this year.
Well, I think the first question is, when will
When?
enrollment begin? I mean, that's what you've all been waiting for, right? Enrollment will begin on May 11th. What we're going to be doing is we're going to be doing what's called a rolling enrollment. And so that means we're going to continually enroll those campers as we move through the spring and the summer. Campers will be selected at random using a lottery system for this rolling enrollment.
So why rolling enrollment and what does it mean? Well, some of the things that are different this summer is, first of all, many of you know that we have Portland State University students who act as counselors. That gives us our 1-to-1 camper to counselor ratio each summer. Because Portland State is not attending classes on campus, that extends to Mount Hood Kiwanis camp. So Portland State students will not be sent up to camp to be counselors. So our staff this summer will be all paid employees that are usually a lot of special education teachers, personal support workers, that sort of thing. And they're people that we will hire this year. And we don't know exactly what that labor supply is going to look like. So we know that the group sizes are going to be somewhat limited, and we know we want to match the number of campers we have with the number of staff that we have to serve them. And so as it becomes more and more clear as to how many staff we'll have, that will dictate how many campers we'll be enrolling. So we'll be enrolling campers throughout the summer as it becomes clear how many people we're going to have in the way of staff in order to serve our campers.
Absolutely. Yeah, to put this kind of into numbers for you all, when we're talking about these what we call group staff, which have typically been counselors in the past, if we have 16 group staff in a given week, we'll be enrolling 16 campers to match those 16 staff members. We want to make sure that we're providing those one-to-one supports that you really count on and that a lot of your campers need in order to have the best time at camp. And so as we move through the summer and we know how many staff we're going to have in each week, we'll be enrolling more campers to match that supply of staff members.
So Alan mentioned a little earlier that we're going to use a random system for selecting campers. A lot of you have already signed up for camp, and now that we know what the numbers are going to be, we're going to use this random system for enrolling campers. Essentially, campers will be randomly assigned a number by an electronic randomizing lottery kind of a system. Campers will then be placed in weeks based on this randomly generated order. Because the order is randomly generated, the likelihood that your camper will be placed in their first or second choice is low. We just don't have the numbers and the flexibility to be able to give everyone their first or second choice. And it could happen, but it may not happen. So campers will be placed in the next available spot for their age group as we continue this rolling enrollment.
Now, Dave and I have talked quite a bit about some of the challenges that we're facing, whether these group limitation sizes, as well as how many staff we potentially are going to have to support the campers that are coming up. And then the question becomes, well, how many campers are going to be able to attend camp this summer? And the short answer is we just don't know yet. Right now, we're working to hire as many staff as we possibly can. And as Dave mentioned, we won't have those Portland State University volunteers and counselors that come up to us this summer. And so it's really just going to be an ongoing process to hire as many staff as we possibly can to support as many campers as we possibly can. So bear with us as we move through the spring and the early summer and even into the mid to late summer. We're going to be enrolling campers even up to a couple days before our week begins, because we want to make sure that we're providing as many experiences to as many people as we possibly can this summer. Well, so if you are enrolled, whether that's on May 11th, May 28th, or later on in the summer, you're going to receive a letter just like you do in a normal summer. That letter will be your enrollment letter. It will have the week in which you are scheduled to come, your paperwork due dates, as well as any payment due dates. If you are not one of those campers that's selected in this first wave or even later on, we're going to be sending out a waitlist letter as well. So you will receive some type of letter letting you know whether you've been enrolled or you're remaining on the wait list for this whatever round that we're in as far as this rolling enrollment goes.
So let's talk about money. When will the enrollment processing fee, activity fee, and tuition payments be due? The enrollment processing fee, and if applicable, the activity fee, will be easy for me to say, will be due 2 weeks after you receive your enrollment letter. Additionally, your camper's tuition is due 1 month after receiving your enrollment letter. Tuition payment plans are available upon request, so if you are hesitating about that at all, just let us know and we'll be happy to work something out with you. The enrollment processing fee waivers and campership applications will be available starting May 11th and will be rolling as campers are enrolled.
And then the question comes, when are my campers' required forms due? So all required camper paperwork is due on May 28th. All of those forms can be found in your Camp in Touch account. If you're having any issues navigating that link that's in the letter that we're going to send you, please let us know. You can also find the link to Camp in Touch on our website at mhkc.org. And if you're having any trouble logging into your account, please reach out to us. We're more than happy to help you with password resets and different things like that to make sure that you can access those forms. Just please remember that failure to complete your camper's paperwork by that May 28th due date will mean that your camper will be placed back on the wait list and your spot will be given up to another camper.
So, if you are on the wait list, we highly encourage, as Alan just suggested, all campers that are on the wait list to complete all of their required forms, all of the paperwork by May 28th. As we move closer and closer to the beginning of camp, there may be spots that open up that become available on short notice, and those people that have their paperwork all done, obviously, it's not a big leap in order to get into camp if we have a spot that opens up for you. So in this instance, in those instances, we'll only be able to select campers off the wait list who have completed all of the necessary paperwork to attend camp.
If my camper is not selected for summer camp this year, are there any other programs that we're doing that my camper might be able to participate in? And the answer is absolutely yes. So we understand that the campers who aren't selected, it's going to be unbelievably disappointing, and we know that that's going to be disheartening for folks. And so what we've done is we have revamped and updated our Camp in a Box program, and we want to make that available to any camper that wants one who has applied to camp for 2021, as well as for those who applied in 2020. We understand that there are a lot of folks who didn't apply for summer camp this summer because they didn't really feel like it was the appropriate thing for them to do and their family. And so as we move through this, if you would like to get one of those free Camp in a Box programs, we're going to be sending out a form where you can sign up, where we can get an updated address and name and contact information, and then we'll put you on the list, we'll put those together, and we'll be sending those out beginning to middle of July, so that way you can have a little piece of that camp magic at home again this summer for those who would like it. In addition, we are continuing to do our virtual programming. It's been a huge hit over the last few months. Campers have really enjoyed interacting with our staff and engaging in all the different activities that we have. We're going to be putting out the schedule for June, July, and August this coming May. So keep an eye out for that on social media and in your email. If any of those interest your camper or you, please sign up for those because we'd love to see you as part of our virtual programming this summer as well.
So I think it's safe to say that camp is happening. Chris, we've already confirmed that, and that we're really, really excited about it. We also have had to make some adjustments. We're not going to be able to serve as many people, and we know there's going to be a certain amount of disappointment, but it's a transition year, and off we go to try to provide as many camp experiences as possible for our treasured campers. So that's pretty much our message for today, isn't it?
That's pretty much it. Thank you all, and we can't wait to see you up at camp.
If you have any questions, make sure you reach out to Alan, Allan, Alan at mhkc.org. Thanks, everyone.
Bye, everybody.